right, guys, it is November 13th. It is Wednesday, and Bitcoin has put in a new all-time high today of $93,500, which is wild considering just a week or so ago we were much lower. Let's take a look here at the weekly chart of Bitcoin. You can see that we opened this week at 80,000 and are now just over 90 actually. And this is we still have time on this weekly candle. Let's go to the daily chart to get a different look. Um, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we've moved a lot in the past 7 days for sure. You can take a look at Google past 5 days, we're up 18%, 40% in the past month. So month ago, Bitcoin was at 64,000. We are now sitting pretty at over 90. Guys, congratulations if you're here. This was not easy to hold through, especially this very long period of consolidation here, really a downtrend also. So congratulations. I wanted to talk about what I think is going to happen um, in terms of price movement. So a few things here. We have El Salvador's Bitcoin reserves. This is their government website. You can see that they purchase 1 Bitcoin per day here. Before I was looking at it maybe in a different tab. Where did I have it? There we go. Because what they've been doing is since for about 2 years they've been buying 1 Bitcoin a day. You could see here their balance history increases by 1 Bitcoin every day, and this graph is just a stair case upward. So Bitcoin acquired per day. They were doing this when it was as low as 15,000. So obviously way in the green. Everyone who's ever bought Bitcoin is, of course, in the green. Take a look at the monthly chart, and of course, you can just see that the trend is up. We may have a year of going down to consolidate, but over time, the price will just continue increasing. This is due to Bitcoin's supply schedule. Also demand, we see just this one example with El Salvador, but of course the Bitcoin US spot Bitcoin ETFs. So let's take a look at that now. Wish we had more of a recent update. I wonder if Eric Balchunas has another ETF update for Bitcoin from today. Things are changing so quickly. Oh, look at this. All right, from Eric today. By the way, Bitcoin's at $90,400. Ibit saw $5 billion in volume today for the first time ever. Only 3 ETFs and 8 stocks saw more action today, up to $13 billion in 3 days this week. Its peers are seeing heightened volume too, but on a smaller scale. FBTC, so Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF did $1 billion, the biggest day since March. Yes, so things are definitely heating up. Usually after elections and the Bitcoin halving, about 6 to 12 months after the halving. So these are the presidential elections from 2012, 2016. I need to add 2020 here as well. I'm sorry, these may have been the halving cycles, but either way, they're usually around the same year, and every 4 years you can see a trend upwards. And let's look at the Bitcoin supply schedule. I think right now the block reward is just over 3 Bitcoin at 3.125. So let's see. All right, this is from River. So you could see the Bitcoin supply that is issued approaching 21 million over the next 120 or so years. This makes sense, as when Bitcoin was first issued, every 10 minutes, 50 Bitcoin were issued. Then 25 after the first halving, then 12.5 after the next halving, followed by 6.25. This year, this has been reduced by half with the 2024 halving to 3.125. So that's about 3.125 Bitcoin every 10 minutes that is being added to the circulating supply. And that's just over 400 a day. Um, Let me go to my Twitter where I talked about, let's see here. Michael Saylor on November 11th. MicroStrategy has acquired 27,200 Bitcoin for $2 billion at 74. Wow, nice. $1,000 per Bitcoin. Um, this is 60 plus days of new Bitcoin supply at the current issuance of 450 a day. So, I mean, there's just so much Bitcoin being accumulated. Like we saw also with the IBIT and Bitcoin ETF inflows, we're just going to see a supply shock as demand increases. We also have Trump talking about a Bitcoin reserve for the United States. Um, with a plan to acquire, I think it's 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years. I mean, this is just the most bullish thing I've ever seen. Really, I mean, let's take inventory here. So can I do dark mode on this? Someone let me know. Um, we have Bitcoin ETFs. Begin trading in 2024, Bitcoin 2024 halving. Um, we have the block reward going from 6.25 to 3.125. Put another way, from 900 to 450 per day. So that's huge. Usually about 6 to 12 months after this halving is when we see the price respond and adjust accordingly to account for the smaller incoming supply into the market. So we have Bitcoin ETFs trading in 2024 that started in January 10th or 11th this year. We have the halving bringing the new Bitcoin coming in down by 50% to 450. You also have people like Michael Saylor buying 2 months worth of Bitcoin in a single swoop with, I think that's about $2 billion. BlackRock's IBIT ETF already has, I think, $40 billion under management. And I believe that's one of the fastest growing ETFs ever, if I'm not mistaken, to hit, I think it became one of the fastest hit 30 billion just yesterday or a few days ago, and now it's at 40. Pretty insane. We have Trump talking about a Bitcoin reserve for the US, sparking game theory globally for sovereign, Bitcoin acquisition. You also have people like me who will continue buying Bitcoin and not selling it no matter what, barring, exceptional circumstances. So, I mean, guys, I just think we got so much more to go here. Um, there's just so much going on. Everyone seems to want Bitcoin. Bitcoin's cool now. All these legal worries seem to be fizzling away. And I mean, just look at this chart. Um, again, congratulations, everyone who has bought Bitcoin. You are in the green, probably very much so right now. Haven't seen a great day in the stock market either the past day or two, so interesting to see a divergence there. People might just think Bitcoin's a risk asset, but obviously we're seeing a difference here since Bitcoin is a fixed supply asset and the issuance is decreasing over time. Um, where are we at now? We're almost at 90,600. So yeah, like I said before, I think we're just under 94 today, 93 and a half. Open the day 88,000. So not too bad, sitting at 90 and a half, a little higher. Um, I just don't think that we're going to be able to buy Bitcoin at this price for very long. I think we're going to run out of sellers. And there's just going to be more and more buyers at these prices. You could see the volume just ripping, most of it in the green, obviously, um, as we can see from these prices. But I think this is going to continue for a while. Really, given all of these things in mind, if you put all these things together, I've really never seen anything like this. I feel like it's kind of the perfect storm for Bitcoin. I mean, you have Wall Street, you have countries, you have, institutions, you have legal, clarity through the ETFs, and as well as, Trump speaking about potential Bitcoin reserve asset, which could spark game theory globally for countries to not feel, they feel like they can't afford to not have Bitcoin, even if they don't like it. Bitcoin's for everybody, and if the biggest, country in the world is adopting Bitcoin and having a huge reserve, then other countries, even as a hedge, even if they don't want to do it, even if they hate it, they are going to hedge their um, countries essentially and be buying Bitcoin just in case it ends up taking off, which it is taking off, and time is running out to get Bitcoin under 100,000. We may already be out of time to buy Bitcoin under prices we've seen recently. Let's take a look again at the monthly. So Bitcoin started November at 70,000 and is now at 90 and a half. $90,500. So that is a 29% increase from just less than 2 weeks ago. And, when in doubt, you just have to zoom out and look and realize that the trend is, you know, really just one way here. Um, you could draw this a million different ways, but it's almost like an 80 IQ way of looking at it. You just scroll all the way back and, you know, you'll see the pattern here, obviously. And again, I think all these things together is going to make the Bitcoin price go absolutely parabolic. I think most people will be completely caught off guard and unable to benefit in a very meaningful way. I've said this in my other videos. Traditional wisdom, stay away from Bitcoin. Terrible idea. Scam. You'll lose all your money. Dave Ramsey thinks that Bitcoin's a good way to turn $1 million into zero. Funny thing is, I've definitely outperformed Dave Ramsey. And again, all I did was buy Bitcoin. And I mean, it's not difficult. I think people want to complicate this. Guys, you just keep buying, um, don't sell it, and you'll see your life get cheaper over time. Everyone who has bought um, Bitcoin is now in profit and things are cheaper for them than they were before they bought Bitcoin, and the world is responding. You could see here, um, Bitcoin is the eighth largest asset in the world. Earlier today, it actually flipped Saudi Aramco for seventh place. It is not far away at all from reclaiming that position, and from there, just really a stone's throw away from Amazon and Alphabet before contending with the biggest of big tech, and then Granddaddy Gold at the very top. But we just overtook silver and Meta not long ago. Tesla's been ripping also, but cannot keep up, of course, with Bitcoin. I believe they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, which is interesting. And Microsoft has a meeting, a shareholder meeting to discuss possibly investing in Bitcoin as well. Funny enough, they mentioned MicroStrategy in their letter to shareholders, talking about how MicroStrategy is also a tech company like Microsoft, but unlike Microsoft, it has performed, I think, just miles and miles ahead of Microsoft. I think they outperformed them by like 300% or something like that in some specified time frame that they were talking about. Um, and yeah, all these things put together, I think most people will be completely caught off guard and unable to benefit in a very meaningful way. Um, I've been buying Bitcoin since 2021, the very beginning of the year, in January of 2021. It's when a lot of people got in, kind of at the top of the market. Let's see, we're on the daily chart. We can go to the month for a look at that. Whoops. All right, this is it. So, January 2021, we're coming up on 4 years, which is wild, guys. Bitcoin opened January, so started the year at 29,000. It got to a high of 42, went to a low of 27. All right, so it opened at 29, went up to 42, closed at 33. That's when I got in during, this huge breakout here, and I've just been buying ever since. Every week, every day, every month, at very least. And now all those buys are in profit. I remember during here, everyone was scared. And I really was buying down here, just because I saw the price. It just seemed like a good deal. We hit a low of 15,479 November 2022, so 2 years ago. I mean, guys, you could have bought, a Bitcoin for 15 grand. Of course, not everyone has 15 grand lying around. I sure as hell did not have 15 grand lying around. But you know, if you put in like You could buy 1% of a Bitcoin back then for about 150 bucks. Now you have to pay $905. This was a gift coming down here. Of course, Bitcoin was never in any real trouble. It's just the market psychology, some hypothecation from Sam Bankman-Fried, Mashinsky over at Celsius, BlockFi, things like that. But that can't stop Bitcoin. Nothing will stop Bitcoin. Governments can't stop Bitcoin. Nothing can stop it. I have a video about that too. Um, but so far, things have been going pretty well. I've been benefiting in a meaningful way, you could say, from Bitcoin. And it's not easy, but it is simple. I think if you can make it through the lows, riding the highs is easy. And just, I really think most people are completely underallocated if they're allocated at all. 21 million is not that many, especially considering there are over 8 billion people in the world. Um, you know, there's just not that much. People are going to be fighting over fractions. You're seeing that now. You're seeing the price adjust upwards to meet demand, given the fact that the supply is low coming in, and also the supply of sellers is low. People just aren't willing to sell at these prices. Why would they? Um, Bitcoin pretty much repeats this every 4 years, more or less. And the upward trajectory just isn't going to stop. This is going to continue forever. Um, we can take a look at the US national debt clock in real time. And congratulations to the United States. It looks like we're approaching a record all-time high here as well. Unfortunately, not the type of all-time high we're experiencing with Bitcoin. This is the US national debt. This is what is owed to you. This is what is owed to everybody. There is more than this. You can look at the US unfunded liabilities down here at 220 trillion, 839 billion, 146 million, 147 million, 148 million, 149 million. I can't even count the number because it just keeps going up by a million before I can finish it. But you get the idea. Um, this is what happens when you save in dollars. These will get printed forever. Of course, the United States will not default on the debt. What they'll do is they'll increase this number forever, increasing the interest on the debt forever, and eventually, after taking out defense and war spending, which it already has, will come for Social Security, and you can bet your ass is gunning for Medicare and Medicaid next. These aren't the type of all-time highs you want to see. That is money that will never be paid back. If you are in your 30s like me and think you're getting Social Security, good luck. I don't think that money is coming to you. It's owed to you, but you're not getting it because, of course, this could never be paid back. And everyone who's intellectually honest will admit that this will never be paid back. It's just numbers on a screen to them, but you will pay for it through hyperinflation as the price of everything gets more expensive forever. We have a cost of living crisis because of this. Housing, people have been using housing as savings accounts, homes they don't even use for their utility purpose. They're just stuffing them, they're just stuffing their money into things that go up because they know that the dollar is going to zero eventually. But if you have Bitcoin, you do not have this problem. You can watch this from the sidelines, eating popcorn and laughing. Well, I guess not laughing. It's pretty bad, pretty severe what could happen. But you are kind of in a way exiting, and your life will just get better and continue to get cheaper. Um, this is a winning chart. This is what you want to happen with your wealth over time. You want the money you're using to increase in purchasing power, unlike the US dollar, um, which is losing its value tremendously fast. And, you know, this is a good chart. You could see visual capitalist purchasing power of a dollar over time, and the many catalysts that cause the predicament we are in now. Um, but of course, if you had Bitcoin, you would not have this issue. Obviously, Bitcoin wasn't around in 1913, but you know, if you had a dollar in 2020, you can buy one McDonald's coffee. That may or may not be true now. But if you had Bitcoin, you could afford much more than one McDonald's coffee. With a dollar, if you bought in 2020, Bitcoin went as low as $3,800. Of course, now Bitcoin is over $90,000 per coin, at 93,000, or sorry, 90,300 as of this video. Reached an all-time high, like I said, about 93,500. And we will see the price continue forever as the US government prints money ad infinitum, um, causing inflation and then eventually hyperinflation, which really does punish those who are holding the money. Those who have assets, particularly the wealthy, will be fine. Their stock portfolios and real estate portfolios will benefit from this. They benefit from money printing, and you lose if you are trying to buy a home. That inflation does not benefit you. If you have a house and the value goes to $1 million, you benefit. If you want to buy a house and you set money aside for a down payment, but the price goes up to $1 million, you are the loser in that situation. Um, and you will never be able to afford the house if you are saving in dollars. And yep, that's it, guys. Just wanted to give an update. Please like the channel. Sorry, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you found this helpful. And I'll be speaking with you guys soon. Thank you.